Hi crafty friends, Melissa Minor here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today is Simple Stories Saturday. This is a day where my friends and I get together and we all create projects using our favorite Simple Stories products. Be sure to check out the description box below to link to all of their crafty YouTube channels. All right, let's go ahead and get into today's project. I'm using products from Simple Stories, the Simple Vintage 'Tis the Season line. I've got some of their chipboard and ephemera. And then I also have the Simple Vintage Yuletide papers and some ephemera. So here's some that I've already dumped into my stack and sort tray of ones I want to use. And this bow is what inspired me to use this collection. So this is a picture of my daughter Tatum on the left and her friend Lizzie. And I'd bought them these matching PJs for a recent Christmas trip we took, and they've got little bows on them. And I love this paper from the Simple Vintage Yuletide collection that has the bows. And so that's really what inspired me to use this collection, were the bows. I went into Design Space on my Cricut, and I also cut out a bow for the layout. Now I picked this paper for my background, and it's got these large deer, the scene, and I don't want to use the scene. So what I'm thinking is I want to take this bow paper and I want to tear it. So I'm going to go ahead and tear it, pulling it towards me to reveal that white core. I'm just trying to see how far down I think I need this. So I'm actually going to end up covering up the deer. So I'm going to pull this paper and then we'll set this bow paper right over the top of the deer. So let me go ahead and bring this paper up here, and looks like I didn't tear it quite long enough. You can see an antler poking out, but that's okay. I've got this little strip right here that was also just a scrap I had from this collection, and I'm going to tear the edges of this, and then I'll be able to slide that right underneath where that bow paper is, and you'll never know that that's not what I intended to do. So it's okay. It'll work out. So I'm bringing in my Scrapbook.com dotted adhesive. And I like this adhesive because it is repositionable, but then after a while it becomes permanent. So we'll get this little bow paper tucked under there. And I'm actually really glad that I needed something to cover the antlers because I like this. I like the way that this turned out. So let me go ahead and see if I can slide this paper under here. This collection is so pretty. All right, there we go. So now I've got that done. Get it quite adjusted here. I want it straight. And I think that looks good. All right, so next I want to start working on the bow. And I don't want to leave this top layer white, but I'm thinking I want the bow here, and I want to bring in some Distress Oxide ink. And then I think I'm going to put my photo over here. Yeah, that's going to look really good. So let me go ahead and pull out some Distress Oxide ink so I can start working on this top layer for the bow. So I have some Distress Oxide ink in the color of Lumberjack Plaid. And I'm just going to go around here and use my ink dauber. And I'm kind of tapping it on. I don't want to rip it. It's very thin. So I got that all inked up. And it's not the color that I want. So I'm going to bring in a little bit of Vintage Photo and just kind of give it a little more color here. And give it that more rustic vintage vibe that I'm going for. So I'm going to go all around the edges here with the Vintage Photo. And that is definitely more of the color that I was looking for. I did not want that bright, vibrant red. I wanted it to look more vintage. And I'm working on my Tim Holtz glass medium mat. This is great for when you're inking, when you get glue on it, paint, because you can just wipe it up with a paper towel. All right, so now that I have my top layer of the bow all inked up, it's time to add a little glue. And when I'm working with cut files, my favorite adhesive to use is the Nuvo Deluxe Glue. It has a fine line applicator and it also dries really clear. So if there's any glue that seeps out among the edges, it won't show, it won't leave a white mark or anything. It's just going to dry clear. So I'll go ahead and put the glue on here, flip it over, and then I'm going to add it to the top of this bow. And I think that looks super cute. Okay, so now I'm ready to go ahead and adhere it to my page. Let me go ahead and line it up. And as I'm looking at it, I think it just needs a little something extra. So I went digging through my markers here, and I found these. I haven't used them in a while. These are the Spectrum Noir metallic paint markers. They come in different sizes. This is the gold. Now I know they have these markers in silver and I think rose gold as well. So you just shake them up a little bit because they are a paint pen. And this one has like a wide tip on it. So I'm going to go all along the edges of this bow, and I'm just going to add a little fine line of the gold. And so it's not going to be very noticeable, but it's one of those small details that when you look at a page, you will end up seeing it and you can appreciate all the small details. So I'm going to go along all the edges here. I'll continue. Now, if I would have known that I wanted to do this, I would recommend adding the gold before you add it to the bow, because I'm not able to get into the inside of the bow on those pieces. So I think that would have looked really nice. But here we go. I got that all painted up, and you can see just a little hint of the gold peeking out. So I like that. All right, I'm going to add a little bit of fun foam. So this is some craft foam that I get on Amazon, and I love getting these sheets because you can just cut them and customize them to whatever size you need. So I'm just going to cut a couple strips here, and so that way I can add a little extra dimension to this bow. And then the glue I'm going to use on this is tacky glue and a fine line bottle applicator as well, and that's my go-to adhesive for pretty much everything else. And then I save my Nuvo glue for my cut files and sequins and things like that. Okay, so now let me bring back in my photo. And I think my photo needs a little extra color. So I'm going to pull in another paper here. This is from the Simple Vintage Yuletide collection. So I've got this matted on the paper. I'm just going to bring in my trimmer here, and we'll go ahead and get this cut out. And then I want to distress the edges. So I'll bring in my little edge distressing tool. And I've got a couple edge distressing tools. I've got the Tim Holtz edge distresser, and then I've also got this one. And I believe this is a little tool from a sewing section, but you can pick this up on Amazon, and I will leave links to any products that I use in today's video down below in the description box. And I really appreciate when you shop my links, as I do receive a small commission at no extra charge to you, and that just really helps support me and my YouTube channel. So thank you to all of those that shop my links. I really do appreciate it. All right, so there is the photo. Isn't that super cute? So we went to St. Charles over the Christmas holiday, and we stay in a hotel, and we make our whole Christmas adventure out of it. My daughter refers to it as walking into a Hallmark movie. Everything is just so fun. They even have like chestnuts that they roast over an open fire. They've got a Santa Claus, all kinds of fun things. So I bought the girls these matching pajamas to wear on our little trip, and they look so cute. All right, now I'm bringing in a sticker, or this is a chipboard piece, and I believe this was from the 'Tis the Season chipboard collection. And so I want it to say Christmas at the bottom. I've got a couple of these ephemera pieces that I've already picked out here, and I just want to layer these on the side. A few of these are little tickets, and they say different phrases, all relating to the Christmas season. So those look cute over there. So I think I'm going to go ahead. I really want to bring in this bow. It matches the bows on the wreath. It's from the ephemera collection. And I think it needs one more bow on this layout. So I'm going to try to see where I can fit this bow in. I'm just kind of auditioning it in several places along the page here. I'm going to go ahead and start gluing some of this down. So I put some adhesive on the back of this ephemera piece, and then I'll go ahead and get my photo glued down. And let me just make sure before I glue my photo down that I'm leaving enough room for my title. So we'll get this on here. There we go. And now I'll start gluing down some of those tickets and making a little cluster over here on the bottom right. Now, typically when I scrapbook, I have 3 embellishment clusters in a triangle. And so on this layout, I'm kind of going against that. And I'm just building this one big embellishment cluster down here in the lower right-hand side of my photo, mainly because my cut file is taking up the majority of the page. Now I'm bringing in this giant bag of paper flowers, and I found these. These are from Prima, and these are in the color is called 25 and Peppermint. And I think this flower is so pretty. It's got the gold detail on it. And so that's going to look real nice down here in this bottom cluster. I'm still making sure that I have enough room for this title before I glue any other embellishments down. So let me go ahead and just get this Christmas title glued down. Now I want the title to say Christmas Jammies. So I need to look through my stickers to see if I can find anything that's going to work. So it can say Christmas Jammies. I'm going to glue down this flower because I know I want this flower down here in the bottom right. And I've went ahead and glued down all the pieces for the cluster over here. And now I want to start working on my title. So I didn't find any stickers, but I did find these stamps. So I'm a huge lover of stamps, and I collected close to my heart stamps for many years before they closed their shop. So I definitely want to get some use out of them. So I found this stamp set. This is called Vintage Type. So if you don't have this one, maybe you've got something in your collection, or maybe you can find it on eBay. So I've already stamped the letters, but I was missing one of the letters, but this is how I created these. I stamped them using the lumberjack plaid, but before I did that, I inked a piece of cardstock with some of the vintage photo, and then I used a little hole punch after I stamped all of the letters, and luckily my hole punch worked perfectly. I have several different sizes of circle punches, and I brought a few out thinking, oh, I'm probably not going to have the right size. And look at this. It's just exactly how I wanted. So I love the way that these letters turned out. I'll go ahead and glue this first one down on camera, and then I'll get the rest of these glued down off camera. Now this is very tiny, so I am using my pick up and place tool to pick up each of these letters before gluing them down. So I make sure that I get them all lined up where I want them. So there, I think that that's going to look really cute to finish off my title of Christmas Jammies. Okay, so now that I have all of that done, I forgot that I have this whole sticker sheet, and I haven't even pulled any stickers off of it yet. So let me see what I can find on here to finish this layout. And I think I like this poinsettia flower. So I'm going to tuck another flower into here because this flower is looking kind of lonely, just one. So we'll add this flower up here. And then let me see if there's anything else on this sticker sheet that I can use. I'm thinking about adding this flower. Let's just go for it. Let's add this white flower down here. Let's tuck that in. And now I want to see if I can make any of these word strips, word phrases fit. So I'm going to look here. I like this holly. I'm not sure about it, so let me stick that back on the sticker sheet. Let me think about that one. I know I want a word strip, so let me look at the word strips and see if there's anything that I think is going to work. I like this one, but I don't think this is it. So let me put this one back and see if there's any other ones on here. And I like this one, Christmas Jammies, so festive. That's perfect. So I'll go ahead and add that to the layout. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to add some paint splatters. So I'm bringing in, before I add the paint splatters, I forgot I wanted to add a tag. So let me go ahead and add this tag. And I did cut this tag down a little bit so that it would fit, but I want to tuck this tag. Just I thought there was like a little gap there between where the cut file is and the embellishments. And off camera, I did go in and add a little bit of ribbon of some twine. And I think I want to add this strip up here across the top, and that's just going to tie in to the paper that I backed the photo with. So we'll add this strip up here, and I like that. I like that so much better, adding another layer. Now I'm going to bring in my paint splatters, and I accidentally printed this photo in black and white. So what I do with those photos that I print out that I don't use is sometimes I use them to cover up my photo. So that's what I'm doing here. I covered up my photo, and I'm bringing in some Shimmerz paints in the color of Gold Digger and making some splatters. Now I am on the Shimmerz Paints design team, so if you ever place an order on the Shimmerz Paints website, you can add my name, Melissa Minor, to the notes section of your order. It's on the page before you get to the pay screen, and Shimmerz will send you a free paint. And you can add my name to each order you place, and every time they'll send you another free paint. All right, so I have completed the layout. I really like the way this turned out. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. I will have still shots over on my Facebook and my Instagram, and I would love for you to follow me on those platforms as well. Be sure to check out the description box and hop along to all of my crafty friends' channels to see what they've made today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!